Welcome to Tarot Guidance with Lynn. I'm Lynn Bell, and each week I'm going to be doing tarot readings for people who send me emails with their questions. So you can send your questions to me at crystalyn@spiritcentric.com. Crystalyn is spelled CrystalLynn at spiritcentric, that's SpiritCentric.com. And you don't have to put any spaces or underscores or dashes in there, it's just all one word. Okay, so let's get started. This question is how to help my grandfather find a new purpose so he can once again feel joy. That's a really lovely question. That's really that's really powerful. It's causing me to have a hot flash, which is exactly a good sign, because I have hot flashes whenever spirit kind of is moving something big inside of me. So let's get right into this, man. Let's see what this question, what the answer is going to be. How to help my grandfather find a new purpose so he can once again feel joy. All right, here we go. The Hermit. Really interesting. It's a great card. So I'm reading again. Last time I did my reading, I did it with the Aquarian Tarot, and this week I'm using the same ones because they just are calling out to me. I'm loving them. And this is the card, the Hermit. And it's pretty obvious what this means on one hand. A hermit is someone who lives away from the rest of the world and really does a lot of inner reflection and a lot of self-guidance. And the hermit lives away from society. That's really interesting because the question again is how to help my grandfather find a new purpose so he can once again feel joy. I'm wondering if it's about your grandfather finding a new purpose so that he can feel joy, or maybe for him to go inside, to go into his inner world and to find his own purpose. And maybe you should go inside to find your inner purpose so that you can find your joy. So this is a really, it's quite a challenging question. Because when people are wanting to help other people, sometimes what they're needing is help for themselves. And of course, they want to help other people. We do want to help other people. I love helping people. But it still keeps calling to mind the idea of your grandfather finding his own purpose, and maybe even you allowing him to find his own purpose, or even to not have a purpose, and letting him find joy in simply being. So in our society, it's really important that we have a purpose. We all want to feel like we're wanted, like we have something that we can contribute. But one of the things that happens is that we focus so much on finding the purpose and how we express ourselves in the outer world, and we neglect doing the work that we need to do on the inner world. So very often we focus on getting a job and we focus on making money, but we don't focus on the drive, the spirit, the essence that's really inside of us that may not really be all that interested in a job for the sake of making money, or the job for the sake of having a job. Maybe we're interested in the soul's purpose, what we came here for. And maybe your soul came here to learn how to not have a purpose. I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but if you're an A-type personality and you judge others from the perspective of an A-type personality, it might be in your soul's interest to, or it might be in your interest to tune in and see if the A-type personality is serving you or harming you. So for example, there was a period in my life when my A-type personality was causing me a lot of harm. Yes, was I getting a lot done? Absolutely. That was wonderful. But I wasn't able to see people, and I wasn't able to even see myself. I was so out of touch with my soul's purpose that I did not realize that I was doing something that was completely out of alignment with who I was. And I was having a level of success, but I was having a lot of pain too. So our soul's purpose can be very, very, very different than what we think it should be. So maybe the first thing to do with regard to your grandfather is to help him tune in and maybe even just ask him what he feels like he wants on a soul basis. I'm sorry, my assistant is here and she's trying not to sneeze. She's trying not to sneeze so bad. She's so cute. So, sorry, going back to the question. Maybe allowing your grandfather to really give full voice to his own desire. Maybe that's one way that you can help him discover what his purpose. Again, the question is how to help my grandfather find a new purpose so he can once again feel joy. So yeah, I would definitely say asking him is going to be really important. And again, this beautiful card of the Hermit is about going inside. And again, the thing that keeps coming up for me is that both of you guys need to come inside, not just him. Both of you all need to retreat into your own private places to discover, rediscover, uncover, unblock, and let shine your inner wisdom, your inner light. And I think you'll be really surprised what you find there. Number one, it doesn't matter how old you are. That light inside of you is constantly regenerating. It's constantly bringing in new information, new ideas. And we tend to take elderly people and put them in a box, you know? And I know people who really alienate the old and kind of put them in this idea of like they put them away as if they're not powerful. But of course, the elderly are so powerful. I was at the YMCA yesterday, taking my swimming lessons, and I rode my bike there, and there were a bunch of old men standing outside the YMCA waiting for it to open. And they were adorable. They were all, you know, some of them had ridden their bikes there, some of them had walked, some of them had driven. They were all standing outside and they were shooting the shit. It was adorable, man. Just talking smack to one another. And I rode up and they were all flirty, you know. I was in my bathing suit and my cover-up on my purple bike that my friend lent me. And boy, they were just so, we all just had a good time waiting for the Y to open. And then when we got in the pool, there were a bunch of old men that were hanging out in the pool. And they said, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm great. And they're like, bet you're not doing as great as I am. I'm 90 years old. I said, you are not 90, because to be honest with you, I just couldn't believe they were 90. They looked awesome, you know, and they were swimming laps, not just 1 or 2 laps, but laps. And they weren't doing like I do, stopping halfway across the pool to come up and gasp for air. No, they were swimming their full laps, and they were just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, you know. So I'm telling this story just to kind of bring it back to the wisdom that comes along with this card, the Hermit. This Hermit is wise. He's a man who, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but he's an old man. The Hermit is usually represented by an old man. And it's that wisdom, that knowing, that's going to help your grandfather most of all. So the answer to your question is to help your grandfather go within so that he can remember how wise, how smart, how brilliant he is. That's where he is. That's what the answer is. All right, I hope that's helpful. And, okay, I think there's something else that's coming through. I'm being told to take another card. Okay, the card that I got is the 9 of Swords. And this card represents guilt. So what I'm going to suggest that you do for yourself, as someone who obviously loves their grandfather so much that you would actually write me to ask a question about it. You obviously love him so much. Don't beat yourself up for what choices he makes, what you can't get him to do, whatever happens in your lives, both you and your grandfather. It's nice to be loved. It's nice to give him love, but don't beat yourself up for any of it, right? We're all on journeys here for ourselves. It's our story. This is your grandfather's opportunity to live his life in the way that he feels most powerful. You can help him be powerful by trusting him. And you can help yourself be powerful by trusting yourself. You did the best you could. You're a person who loves so deeply, loves so powerfully. Just allow yourself to rest well at night. This 9 of Swords is the card of, I can't sleep at night because I'm so worried, you know? So don't beat yourself up. You're doing a good job, and you're obviously a loving woman. I said you're a woman. Oops. I'm not supposed to be saying, I don't want to tell, I don't want to give insight about the reader. I didn't say your name. But I did say you're a woman. But you're obviously a loving person, and your grandfather is really lucky to have you. All right, my friends. So, Crystalline Bell signing off. If you want to find me, you can find me at www.crystallinebell.com. All right. Thank you. Bye.